What's going on, folks? Welcome to our NFC East preview for this season. I'm JPeeps, that man to
I'm
myself,
Ace.
and this is typically the Running Gun podcast. We're both typically matching in black, as always. I guess it's just because we have dark souls. But today is not for the Running Gun podcast. Today is for the NFC East.
Beast.
Yeah,
Three playoff teams.
it's crazy how this division's gone from the NFC Least to the NFC Beast.
In a year, man. We was talking about them as the NFC least last year when us two did this preview. And now we're talking about them like if it's the NFC beast, which is
Yeah, I
shocking.
mean, literally, it's crazy how things turn for the better. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. First up on the list, we got the division champs and the NFC champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. So last year, the Eagles went 14-3. They added Rashad Penny, added Marcus Mariota. Their key losses were Miles Sanders, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and then they drafted Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith from Georgia, Kelly Ringo also from Georgia. Basically, the entire Georgia defense is now in Athens. I'm not in. Oh my God, not in Athens, in Philadelphia. And then also too offensively, they went Tyler Steen on the offensive line from Alabama. So, and the thing is, the GM is a former Gator, which makes it all the more interesting.
Yep. And I didn't hear a word you just said. My audio cut out there.
Oh my goodness!
Anyway, it's good. It's good. We're good here.
Everyone,
Yeah,
everyone else
Eagles.
heard. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
everybody else. That's all that matters. I'm just gonna pull up our schedule so we can see about these Eagles, reigning NFC East and NFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you talk about it. They lost a lot of guys in the back end, but they also
They
are
did.
just building the Georgia Bulldog defense, which
Basically,
is
as you look at the draft, like as it goes across the bottom line there, you basically know what they did.
Eagles are the top left. They have a interesting schedule to say the least.
They do.
They're opening up against the New England Patriots
That's a win.
on September. Yeah, that is a win. Thursday night football against the Vikings.
That's a
I'm
win.
pretty sure they just had a week 2 game against the Vikings last year in prime time, and Jalen Hurts destroyed them. So yeah, win. Week 3 Bucks win.
If
Back to back.
that, I'm gonna say, if that game had been at 1 o'clock, that would have been a more challenging game. But I think the Eagles are gonna win that.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about that heat in
Yeah,
Florida because it's gonna be a night game, and they get the mini bye essentially going from Thursday night to Monday night.
yeah.
That I think we can see a win there with the Eagles. Washington. I think they're gonna split Washington this year.
But that they win that one because that one's in
They
Philly.
win the one at home.
Yeah.
They're gonna win the one at home. I think they're gonna stomp down the Rams.
Yep.
Probably stomp down the Jets
I
if we're
need
gonna
to.
be real.
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Jets at the moment, but I need to see what the Jets. That's a good time to figure out what the Jets really are because that'll be what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll
Six
be
weeks, week
5. Yeah,
6.
that'll be week 6. The Eagles will likely be going into that game 5-0, and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows what the Jets will be. We're gonna see just how good Aaron Rodgers really is.
Yep. And then you're gonna have the Dolphins primetime again in Philly. I don't know. I feel like that could be a win too, but it could be a potential upset, depending on if Tua's healthy in that game.
I'd say even if he's not, Miami they'll find
Miami
something.
got the firepower. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Even if he's not healthy, I think that's a game that I wouldn't key in as a victory automatically for Philadelphia.
And
Uh,
then week 8, I think this is where they get their first loss. Washington gave them their first loss last year. Washington does it again this time. In Washington, I think the Commanders get it done there. Dallas, you think they split with Dallas again?
yeah, I think they split with Dallas.
Wait, they swept Dallas last year, right? No, Dallas beat them. I think.
Uh,
Now I'm forgetting. I gotta check it. But
Yeah, check it. But yeah, honestly, I think they'll split with Dallas this year because I think Dallas will get them at home in Arlington. I think they'll get Dallas and Philly. The Chiefs, that Super Bowl rematch on the road after the bye week, I think that they lose that. Um, Buffalo, that's another tough
no,
one.
they split with Dallas. They lost Christmas Eve to Dallas.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I think that I think they'll split with Dallas again this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buffalo's a win. San Francisco, I think at home is a win. I already
They're
talked to
gonna
you.
prove they won that game right.
Yeah, easily. We're gonna probably injure Brock Purdy again. Seattle,
If he's
that's
the quarterback.
that's a win. The Giants, that's probably likely a win because I feel like the Giants shouldn't have paid Daniel Jones that much
Daniel
money.
Jones. We'll talk about that when we get to them.
Kyler Murray comes to town. I think that that's a win. And then yeah, I think they sweep the Giants. I think they have
All
enough.
right, so let's count it up. You keep talking while I count it up.
Oh, I was gonna say this question is what I have to ask now. Do they have what it takes to win another Super Bowl with the pieces they have now?
I think so, yeah. I think it might take them a second to click back on that back end, even though they brought back Bradbury and they have Slay. I think when you have new safeties coming in, it depends if they're moving Keely Ringo to safety, but when you generally have new safeties in, it takes a couple of weeks to get in the communications properly. Because you see it sometimes when teams get that like a new guy in that back end, the communication isn't pristine, it's not sharp. So at first it's gonna be rocky, but by the time they get into the playoffs, you're gonna see Jordan Davis, you're gonna see Jalen Carter, you're gonna see Keely Ringo, you're gonna see the rookies, they're gonna be all set into that defense. Still got a great offensive line. Kelsey's back, you know. As long as Hurts healthy, I think they're gonna be probably winning the NFC again.
I
There's
agree.
not many teams that can compete with them.
I agree, and they know they've built their roster to sustain long term excellence. Honestly, and realistically speaking, out of the NFC, they've been to the NFC Championship game since 2000, probably more than anybody.
They made 2017. They didn't make 2018,
I'm
did
talking
they?
about you go back.
No, 2018 they won.
I'm talking about going back to the 2000s. They've been in the NFC Championship. Not every time
Oh
that they
yeah,
win it though. Like, because you got to
yeah,
think
they've
about
been to the NFC champ. Yeah,
2002. They lost to the Bucks. 2003 and 2004. They lost to Carolina,
yeah,
and then they
Panthers.
beat, and then they got over the hump and got to the Super Bowl in 2004, and
And
then it just consistently every single time the Eagles have been there. So they have what it takes to win. I think it's just they realized, and I said this after the Super Bowl on the Run and Gun podcast. They realized what Patrick Mahomes is and what he does, and they said, okay, bet. So this is what we're gonna go do. We're gonna go get younger. We're gonna go find guys that can actually run you down and that can play in coverage against what you like to do. And they're hoping now
hmm
that it pays off.
they built up the trench, big, fast, and nasty guys.
Yeah.
And
So I think
when you have cheap contracts like what they did emphasize this year, when they gave Jalen Hurts that massive contract, you still have some cap flexibility if you want to go add a piece at the deadline or whatever you want to do throughout the season. That you're not, totally constricted on what you're trying to accomplish throughout the year.
facts.
And as long as you got AJ Brown, you got Jalen Hurts, and you got Devontae Smith on offense with Dallas Goddard, you're pretty much set no matter who's the running backs between DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, because both of those guys are very injury prone. But if they could if like one plays 8 games and the other plays 8 games, that's more or less your entire season right there. So that's two RB1s if they're healthy playing. Because Penny was good in Seattle before he broke his leg. And DeAndre Swift was good in Detroit before he keeps getting himself banged up with some random injury. So
That part. Honestly, it's wild because I think Marcus Mariota is going to get a lot of garbage time play this season.
yep. So you have the win against New England, win against Minnesota. You're gonna pretty much start
They're going to be 5
six
and
and
0.
0. They're gonna start 5-0 for sure. It feels like almost a given. And then you have
I'm just not sure what New York's
potentially
going to do.
I feel like it's gonna take New York longer than 5 games to figure himself out. But then Aaron Rodgers, it's not like he's ever had the Eagles number. It's not like, he's one of those guys like always playing that team, you're kind of screwed. Now, the Eagles been having his number for a long time.
I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. If this was the Bears, then I guess it would be more of a worry, but I guess not.
Nah, so then you're starting 6-0, potentially 6-1, 6-2. Then you're gonna have probably 7-2, 7-3. I'm taking the loss against Kansas City. 7-4 is 7-3 against Buffalo. What we say with that one? I think it was a win, right? Against Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo's a win.
8-3, 9-3, 9-4, 10-4, 11-4, 12-4, 13-4. That's not bad. That's probably number one seed anyway.
Feel that.
So if I can draw on this. When we post the video, I'm gonna go and have it so it's 13-4 with the Eagles. I don't know if my pen went. Here we go. So nope, pen's not working on this, which sucks. But anyways, moving on now to the
Dallas
next team in
Cowboys.
the division, the runner-up in the division,
12
everybody's favorite. How about them Cowboys, America's team?
Yeah. Oops. Didn't mean to put that up too soon. So yeah, last year Dallas went 12-5. They added Brandon Cooks. They signed Isaiah Land as an undrafted free agent who should have been drafted. Stephon Gilmore joins Trevon Diggs. They lost Zeke Elliott, Trayvon Mullen. They drafted Mazzie Smith, Luke Shoemaker, and DeMarvion Overshown out of the University of Texas. So straight up out the gate, I was gonna ask about Tony Pollard, who should have on it. Hell,
Let's go. Let's hit the hard stuff first. I'll take this down for a minute so we can talk about the hard stuff. Before we talk about the schedule.
I'm gonna be real. He should have got paid.
He should have got paid. He is a, how do I say this? Top 6 running back in the NFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be real. Who is better than him at the present time? What running back from what team in the NFC would you take over him? I mean, like, you could say Bijan, but come on, let's be real. Bijan's not. He hasn't played an NFL down yet. Saquon.
Saquon can't stay healthy. Honestly, I would have said Dalvin Cook. I didn't think there was anything wrong with Dalvin Cook. I think the Vikings are going to regret that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, Madison's all right, but he's not better than Pollard. Neither running back in Green Bay is better than him. None of the running backs in Chicago is better than him. None of the running backs in Detroit is better than him. Well, yeah, because you haven't seen anything from Jahmyr Gibbs yet. All right, now talk about his own division. Eagles don't have a better running back. Saquon's not very healthy all the time.
Eagles don't need a better.
And Washington don't got a running back. NFC South, Kamara's gonna get suspended, so you're not taking Kamara over him. Rashad White ain't better than him. Bijan hasn't played it down yet. Carolina has no. Miles Sanders ain't better than him. NFC West, McCaffrey.
No.
McCaffrey's always hurt. James Conner's not better than him. And Kenneth Walker. He's only a second-year player. I'm not taking him over Tony Pollard. Fantasy, maybe, but then you have Charbonnet to worry about. But we're not talking about fantasy. We're talking about actual football player, playmaker. Tony Pollard, as of right now, you have a legit argument. He's top 6, top 3, top 1, anywhere in that range.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
he deserves more than that franchise tag. And us two, we're doing the AFC West. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about another guy who should be getting more than a franchise tag, and Josh Jacobs later on.
Yes. Now it's for this one. How good can that front seven be? I got praise for their front seven.
Me too. I'm gonna be real with you. I think Micah Parsons is the best person for Isaiah Land to learn under. And moving Micah Parsons to a full-time pass rusher is going to do wonders for that defense because he's going to stay fresher. He's not going to have to play coverage downs, and you're going to get more efficiency out of him.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Straight facts. Yeah, I thought about it too after a while. Like, while I was a little disappointed Isaiah Land didn't get drafted, I did say to myself, like, you know what, thinking about Dallas's front seven, like, it makes a lot of sense for Isaiah Land to land in that situation because this is a blessing in disguise. You have a franchise that values HBCU products. You have a situation where you're now linked back up with Marquise Bell, who, with the departure of Trayvon Mullen, makes me optimistic about his playing time. Um, and then you factor in the fact that Michael
Trayvon Mullen wasn't on that team.
No, he was. He was
On the
playing.
Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
You mean Keanu Neal? No.
No, Trayvon Mullen. Keanu Neal was in Tampa.
Then who the guy was on the Cardinals? I must be thinking about somebody else.
He must be. But yeah, no, I think that learning under Micah Parsons, like you said, is a good thing for a young pass rusher that's still putting on weight like Isaiah Land. Isaiah Land's still growing. That's the thing people don't realize. So I think if he can come around and make an impact, it just adds more depth to an already tough Cowboys front seven. So it's gonna be fun to see. I'm intrigued to see preseason and Isaiah Land's development with this front seven, and most importantly, Micah Parsons. You go ahead and pull that schedule up now.
Oh, you ready for that schedule? Alright, give me a second. Add to stream. Let me zoom in on that so we can actually see that nice, pretty photo.
They always give them the Giants week 1.
Not always. They had the Bucks last year, week 1.
Damn. Okay, well that's because Tom Brady, but Tom Brady not around no more. The Giants are back as the start of the season.
We didn't even talk about the Cowboys having Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn in that backfield with Tony Pollard too.
I like Deuce Vaughn more.
I knew he was gonna say that, but I just wanted to say it for fun.
I have more faith in Deuce Vaughn getting the job done. I'll say this.
Ronald Jones is there.
Is he really?
Yeah, and remember they traded for Brandon Cooks as well.
Yeah. See, Ronald Jones is camp legs.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's interesting, he's rode the coattails to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, but I don't blame him. I'd do the same thing if I could.
Oh, and don't forget they added Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, that's in the bottom.
Oh, you talked about it. My bad. I didn't hear that part. My bad.
I think your volume went out at that point. But yeah, so I mean, look, New York teams to start out. That's interesting. I think they'll. Damn, the Giants. I mean, Dallas may well enough be 4-0 by the time they get to San Francisco.
Oh yeah, they are definitely gonna be 4-0 by the time they get to San Francisco.
Now
Matt Patricia isn't the OC in New England anymore, but like, I don't think New England's got what it takes to keep up with Dallas. Especially when you add that like other guy across from CD Lamb and Brandon Cooks to take coverage away from Lamb. I feel like you're gonna see another breakout from Lamb, and then the Cowboys offense will open up.
I feel like they could have found someone better than Brandon Cooks. Honestly,
they could have found better, but I mean, if they could they had no wide receivers opposite of Lamb last year. Remember when he played the Bucks? He was getting quite like triple teamed every play.
Yeah. To me, it's like I feel like they could have got younger in that spot, but I understand like you got to have enough money saved up in that position to pay CeeDee Lamb. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just critical. I feel like it could have been there could have been a better pickup. Me personally,
better option.
Yeah, there were way better options out there and stuff like in the draft that you could have gone with, like a Marvin Mims. But I understand it.
Don't forget they have Jalen Tolbert as well from last year. Maybe they're expecting that jump from him. I don't know.
We'll see. This will be quite interesting.
So 4-0. Then they're going against San Francisco. I don't know who the starter is in San Francisco next year.
Brock Purdy.
It could very well be Sam Darnold. It could be Sam Darnold. It could be Brock Purdy. If it's Brock Purdy, I might go San Francisco again because San Francisco always beats Dallas. And even if it's Sam Darnold, I might still go San Francisco in this game.
Of
So
course.
that's 4-1. I'm taking the Chargers against Cowboys.
2 losses going into a bye week. Coming out of the
That's
bye
not
week,
bad. 4-2.
they probably get a win in week 8. They'll lose week 9. Or no, that's at home. They'll win that one.
Yeah, that's the home game.
Probably 2 wins. Go up to New York to get another win. Carolina.
Carolina will win.
That's a win.
You think they split Washington? I feel like Washington's gonna just give trouble this year, especially with Bieniemy there.
Washington is always a thorn in their side because you remember last year Washington gave them a go and beat them when they went to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect the same thing to happen again. I think that Dallas is going to lose.
That's 3 losses.
Yeah, they'll beat Seattle.
Yeah, I think we said they're gonna split with Eagles, so this is the win against the Eagles.
This is the loss. Is this the red? Oh
No,
no.
this is the home game. This
Okay,
is the home game.
The home
This
is
was
okay,
the wait.
Yeah, the home is in white.
Home is white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So yeah, they'll lose that first one week 9. They'll win that second one week 14. Buffalo at home. No, Buffalo on the road in the cold. I think that's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Miami down south. I think Miami will upset them and shock them. They can.
I think Miami will just speed blitz Diggs and Gilmore. I don't think Diggs and Gilmore can keep up with Waddle and Hill.
I don't think so either. Detroit. That's tricky because Detroit might have.
I feel like Detroit, if they're what I think they are, they might just be trashing through teams. But
Mm-hmm.
against Dallas, I think Aiden Hutchinson might get some trouble.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Like if Nick Bosa gonna be giving you trouble, like imagine what Aiden Hutchinson. It's not saying he's Nick Bosa, but I feel like Aiden Hutchinson and like James Houston, not James, yeah, James Houston is gonna give you trouble.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Because it's the thing. One is one is a high profile guy. The other one is drawing attention because he was not heavily sought after or thought about. So
Mm-hmm.
like but we're gonna see. We're gonna see how both of those guys adapt now that people have film on them and people know how to game plan and prep for them. Have a whole season's worth of film, like look at them. But we'll see.
And then final game of the season is Week 18. This is the away game against Washington. I think this is the loss.
Yeah,
I think they lose in Washington and win in Dallas.
That's the loss. Yep, I agree.
All right, so we have in total, let's see, San Francisco is an L, Chargers is an L, one of the Philly games is an L, and one of the Washington games. So that's 4 there, plus the Lions and the Dolphins, so 7 losses. I think Dallas is a 6-7 loss team. That's what 11-6 or 10-7. That's about. It's not. It might be a little underrating of the Cowboys, but I don't think it's like disrespectful or anything given their history.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's all predicated on is that enough to get to the playoffs?
That is enough.
But even if it is enough, are they going to win when they get in the playoffs? And I don't mean win the wild card round. Are they going to win the divisional round? Like, do you really have faith in them to do that?
Nah. Them and the Maple Leafs, 2 teams. I just they have to re-identify themselves. You know what I mean? Like they need to change their image and like culture to win anything. But anyway, so 10-6, 10-7, 11-6. Not terrible. It's probably gonna be second place again in the division. But we have them sweeping the Giants, so
that's about good enough for second place, honestly.
So as of right now, let's talk about big money Danny Dimes.
You know it.
I'm gonna take down the schedule and we're gonna talk, face to face about the hard issues in life of giving Danny Dimes all that money.
So first things first, New York Giants 9-7-1 last year, one of the few teams to tie. They added Ashawn Robinson, they added Paris Campbell, they added Jameson Crowder, they lost Kenny Galladay, they drafted Jalen.
That's not a loss. That's an addition.
Gosh, They drafted Jalen Hyatt. I like that pick. They added Deontay Banks. They added John Michael Schmitz. So yeah, we'll go right into it right there. Was Daniel Jones really worth that 4-year extension he received? I think it was like 4 years, what, 160
Hey,
million?
he won more playoff games than Derek Fraud. Or it's Derek Carr, my bad.
Stop. Damn.
Sorry. You didn't
Damn.
hear that? You didn't hear that?
I did hear that. You didn't have to do that,
Slip of the
man.
tongue. Yeah, Carr will be all right this year, I think.
Carl.
Carl, yeah, Carl. You know,
Oh gosh, you didn't even call him by his name.
Carr.
Terrible. Terrible.
Derek Carr will be all right, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the other guy, the guy who was proclaimed to be a mobile Eli Manning. I think it was when he was
No,
coming out.
that's cap. That's cap.
He learned from the Mannings, man. He's supposed to be great. Nah,
I mean,
Danny Dimes, he wasn't terrible last year, but he wasn't worth the contract he got. You know what I mean? Like he's how do I say this? I'd take him over Kirk Cousins.
15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Which
Saquon,
is an hey, that was good, you know. He didn't have the turnovers he had in his prior years. That's one thing I'll give a plus to Danny Dimes.
that's yeah. I think it's just the history of him as his numbers have gotten progressively better. They're not throwing it as much as you can see because they have Saquon in the backfield, which makes sense. But it's just
And he didn't have many receivers last year. You got to remember that too. He didn't have much pass catchers. But I mean, even now, given that we've heard so far that Jalen Hyatt's only on 13 reps right now, like gadget role, I don't think you're gonna expect much from him his rookie year. So that leaves you with Jamison Crowder and Paris Campbell and Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodgins. If what we saw from Isaiah Hodgins in the playoffs against Minnesota is real, I can see something happen. I can see the Giants are definitely going to be a wildcard team this year. It's just he did beat Kirk Cousins, so he's not terrible, but he wasn't worth the contract he got.
facts. I feel that. It's I expect more. I mean, for now he fits in New York because I don't think you're gonna find anyone better. But
Nah, you won't find no one better right now. But if there was a star quarterback who became available for trade, like how last year, there was rumblings quarterbacks were going to come up. I don't think Herbert or Burrow's gotten their extensions yet, but I don't think either of them are going anywhere. But
they're
now we're
not.
talking like Mac Jones,
I think both of them are
the
gonna get
Justin
franchise
Fields.
tags.
I feel like if the Patriots or the Bears bomb out, I don't know if they go after Justin Fields, but I can see them going after Mac Jones.
That's
If
fair.
Danny Dimes isn't taking that next step.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. Now it's brings me to this one. What's taking so long to extend Saquon?
What it takes so long to extend all running backs.
Bingo.
Running backs they need to redo the contracts for running backs and make it instead of a 4-year deal for rookie contracts, they need to make it like 2-year rookie deals
Yeah.
and then get them paid earlier so their bodies don't wear down. But that's CBA and NFLPA stuff to deal with.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, we need another Adrian Peterson. I'm not talking about the off-field stuff, but I'm talking about like we need another like Adrian Peterson type guy to come in and just absolutely like reset the market for running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. And so
Maybe
far,
Bijan's that guy,
yeah, we'll see.
but not in Atlanta.
So
That
far,
offensive line, nah.
exactly. So you better hope it's somebody. He better hope somebody with a good offensive line can turn a running back out and reset the market to help running backs out because the news on running backs and the reputation for running backs right now is not good. It has to get better. So there's someone needs to come along and just be that guy.
The fact Dalvin Cook can't get a job is somewhat alarming. But
It
that's
is
just to show how the market is treating running backs.
facts, straight facts, and it's crazy and it's sad. All right, pull up that
All right.
schedule.
Let's pull it up. All right, week 1. We already said that's gonna be an L. All right,
Yeah,
we can agree.
yeah,
There's gonna be Sunday Night Football, primetime, Danny Dimes. You never know what happens, but I still think that's the home game for them. But CD Lamb, it depends on Deontay Banks and Adoree Jackson, but Lamb already cooked Adoree Jackson last time.
yeah.
Still think he cooks him again this time.
Dude, honestly, Adoree Jackson is not what I thought or what I expected him to be when he got to the NFL. He's not. I'm sorry. But yeah, no,
All right.
I think they're gonna lose to Seattle because I like Geno Smith and what that offense is doing. I think they're going to. All right, now correct. Help me out with this. Are the Reds? Are okay? No.
Reds are away game, so it's a home game for the Giants against Seattle.
Okay, okay, okay. I got you.
Seattle did beat them last year.
I think Seattle will beat them this year. I think
Mm-hmm.
Washington.
Especially, I feel like that offense now got Jackson Smith and Jigba in it too. Like, even if it is Gino running that offense, like I still feel like it's still gonna cook because you
Yeah,
got two power backs, two workhorse running backs in the backfield now with Walker and Charbonnet. So it's like you're loaded on offense because you got the offensive line fixed and you have wide receivers and you have a running back. So it's like all Gino got to do is not turn over the ball, and they're gonna win.
yeah. Now I do think that week 3 they're going to lose that. I like Garrett Bieniemy.
Hold on,
Dallas.
where the hell is? Wait. Oh, really, bro? Why New York got to be different?
Oh man, we read it sideways. Okay, let me fix this. Okay,
Yeah.
they
Let's do
still
this
lose.
back again.
They
Still beat
still lose.
Cardinals.
They beat the Cardinals. They lose. Okay, so
Lose to the 49ers.
they'll be 1-2. They lose to Seattle still. They'll
One
lose to
and
the
three.
Dolphins. They're going to lose to the Bills.
Beat Washington.
I think
Beat
they'll
the
lose.
Jets. Beat
I
the
think
Raiders.
they'll lose to Washington.
That's a home game for them.
I think they'll still lose.
So 1-5 off the bat.
Yeah. The Raiders, maybe I'll throw them a bone and give them that one.
I'm gonna give them the Jets one and the Raiders one.
Yeah.
So that's 3-6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3-6.
Lose
I
to
think
Dallas.
they lose it as 3-7. Beat Washington there.
They'll beat the Patriots.
Beat the Patriots.
Surprise upset
Beat the
against.
Packers. Packers Jordan Love. It's not gonna be an upset. They'll be the favorites in that
I'm gonna
game.
let you handle this next one.
Beat the Saints. They beat them last time.
Damn.
Saquon will somehow figure out how to cook them. Blue City Eagles beat the Rams. Did we have the Eagles sweeping the Giants?
Yeah, we did.
8-9, 9-8 is somewhere around where I think the Giants are going to be.
It's crazy because that could win some divisions.
Mm-hmm.
That would win.
They're going to finish third in this division, I feel like, but that is a dog sled of a schedule between weeks 3 and 6. That's like a hard month right there. 49ers, Dolphins, Eagles. Not Eagles. God, 49ers, Seahawks, Dolphins, Bills. That is 4 playoff teams in a row. All with very good wide receivers. Debo and Ayuk, DK and Smith and Jigba and Lockett, Hill and Waddle, Diggs, and even Kincaid now. Like that is a sled of wide receivers you had to deal with. Your secondary better be up to the task and hell, that's even some good run defenses because the 49ers had a really good run defense last year. Seahawks not so much, but I mean you're gonna have Jamal Adams coming in now. That's gonna be a bit trickier. The Dolphins still, they got Holland running back in the back and the safety, but then you got Christian Wilkins and them dogs in the middle. Jalen Phillips. So it's not an easy schedule there with the Dolphins. And then the Bills are just a behemoth in the middle. So you're like, if Saquon gets neutralized, Daniel Jones will have to win you one of those 4 games. Otherwise, your season can go off the rails early.
I think they're gonna finish last, honestly, in this division.
Ooh. Actually, now that you say it, 8 and 9. All right, once we get to the Washington schedule, I'm gonna see because I think Sam Howell and Bieniemy are gonna cook together. Danny Dimes better show up, otherwise he might not even see year 3 of that contract, year 2 of that contract.
Now, and that is going to take me to the Washington Commanders. That's going to bring me there. So last year, 8-8, 8-1. They added Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. Terrell Burgess is there. Trent Scott's also there. They lost Alex Erickson, Chase Roulier, and Drew White and J.D. McKissick is also gone. They drafted Emmanuel Forbes, Jartavius Martin, Ricky Stromberg, and Brandon Daniels. So right away, you know, why was Bieniemy precisely the right person for Sam Howell?
Sam Howell was going to be a top 5 pick, before his entire team in North Carolina left to go to the draft. And even then, you still he wasn't terrible at North Carolina, but he fell to the 6th round, so tempered expectations, right? Going into last year. He comes in at the end of the season, Carson Wentz gets benched, Taylor Heineke Carson Wentz got hurt and benched. Taylor Heineke said, "Hey man, I know the season's over. Let this young kid come in and play. Let him ball a little bit." You know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw him a
Because
bone.
he saw something in Sam Howell. So I'm gonna say like Bieniemy, you saw him work. He cooked with Mahomes. Like people blamed Bieniemy when the Chiefs lost, but praised Reed when they won. You had Andy Reid, you had Patrick Mahomes, you had Travis Kelce, all say Bieniemy was a big part of how they came out in that second half and they destroyed Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
And he said, "I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna work some magic. It's a prove it deal from me. I can show I can work with someone outside of Mahomes. And if he does that, that man will be a head coach. Has to be next year."
exactly. And honestly, too, I think to go back to that Super Bowl, I think a little bit of it is Eric Bieniemy making the adjustments and the Eagles not paying attention to anything at all. Because I recall vividly
They ran the
the
same play twice and scored
they,
touchdowns on him.
they all they did was just flip the side of the field they ran it on, and they scored.
It was the same.
And it's just like, okay, like, dude, it's about as simple as basic math. Like, it gets no easier than that, and you still can't stop it. That's really now that is a problem. That's the one knock I have against the Eagles defensive staff for not picking that up
Paying
properly.
attention.
Biggest game of the year.
There's that too, but like you watched the Mahomes in that Super Bowl, like Bieniemy was drawing up the plays and it was working, but then he had that 40-yard scamper on one leg. Like you need a little bit of improv in that Bieniemy offense because like he will scheme the guys open for you and get the plays right and whatnot. But he needs a quarterback to be able to he'll have it and then the field will just open up because the way how he designs routes for the wide receivers is like you have to run man or you're gonna get destroyed with it because it's the zone beaters. So man's got to play it, and when man happens, middle feels wide open for your quarterback. And Sam Howell can move still. It's not like he's a stationary fossil like a
Exactly.
Philip Rivers or somebody.
I don't think he's
So
not the athlete that Patrick Mahomes is, but he is good enough to get the job done and win you some games. It's just he came into a bad situation at a bad time, I think, because the Commanders are going through what they're going through with their front office and everything. So take away the off-field act like drama and stuff. I think with the right person like Eric Bieniemy, Sam Howell can be successful.
you ready for the schedule?
Oh,
Or you want to talk about some more? Let's talk about the defense first, I guess. Or let's talk about this, I guess. Quietly one of the teams to watch with this division.
yeah, about like me. Yeah, it's slowly. It's got something slowly cooking
Yeah.
over there.
Dotson, McLaurin,
Yeah.
Howell, Gibson, Robinson. You got some guys over on that side. Not flashy like a AJ Brown or Devontae Smith now, or CD Lamb. McLaurin has been consistent his whole career. Jahan Dotson, when healthy, was a touchdown machine. You got Chase Young finally healthy next year. Montez Sweat's still there. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, all on the front four. Like that is that. If you look at every front four in that NFC East, like per person, front four personnel, they have the best front four on paper. 4 guys lining up.
I'll take see, and this is why I think,
The linebacker, Jamin Davis got to step up in his regards, and the secondary has to play better. But like,
and this is why I think Ron Rivera brought in Eric Bieniemy. Ron Rivera brought in Eric Bieniemy to take the pressure off of himself to have to worry about that offense, because now he has someone that he can trust to run that offense, so he can focus heavily on that defense. That's what it is. It was genius. That's why I have high expectations personally for Washington this year.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, we have anything else to talk about Maine with them before we talk about that schedule?
We're going to bring up the schedule now.
All right, they're starting week 1 with the Cardinals. Their week 1s are, I don't know if you can see it, but right here.
Yeah, I see it.
All
That's a
right,
win.
September 10th. That's a win. They're going down, unlike the Giants. Week 2.
That's
I really don't know what to expect with the Broncos, but Champagne early in the seasons aren't the greatest. I'm gonna take the Washington as well. Week 2.
week
Week
3.
3, L.
Okay.
Oh, you think they can upset the Bills?
Maybe.
We'll put it up as a either or with them because I don't know. It depends on what Diggs is going to be doing in his head right now. I don't know what Diggs is up to.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
definitely losing that one.
They're losing the one against the Eagles early.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Bears.
Yeah. No, I'm not expecting a lot from Chicago this year.
This is Falcons week 5. It kind of got cropped out, but I think they beat the Falcons week 5.
They'll win that.
Did we have them splitting with the Giants or we had them sweeping the Giants?
We had them splitting, I believe.
All right, so they're gonna lose this one. They'll win the home one. They're gonna win this one against the Eagles.
Okay. Okay, they're gonna win
Remember,
that.
this is the home game. This is the home game. So far, this
Yeah.
is a winning record right now.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Patriots.
I think so too.
To balance it out, I'm gonna give them an L against the Seahawks
Okay.
because I don't think they have the corners to match up with Metcalf and Lockett. Then the Giants one, I think we have them winning this one against Giants. This is Cowboys up here for week 12. This is me and L. Do you see a potential surprise upset in the cold for them against the Dolphins?
Is that down in Miami, or is that
No, this is up in Washington. Early December.
we're gonna know what Miami is
It'll
by
be a
then?
little
I think Miami's on.
Miami. I can say Miami.
I give them a loss there, but I do think that they win the next two.
I think they lose Miami, win LA.
I think
The
they'll beat.
Jets.
I think they'll beat
I
the
don't know
Bills.
what to expect with the Jets. I don't think the Jets will be running through teams. I think it'll be a dogfight this one. I think it'll be a close game with the Jets. But I'll have them lose to the 49ers.
Yes. And who's that
And
last one?
then this is the one they're gonna win against the Cowboys. This is the home game against the Cowboys.
Oh, that last one. Okay, yeah, that's the one they're gonna win.
Alright, so that's 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, maybe?
Yeah.
2-2, 3-2,
4,
4-2, 4-3,
5,
5-3,
6,
6-3, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5, 7-6, 8-5,
9,
9-5, 9-6, and
and
10-6.
6.
10-6. That's a
Yeah.
playoff team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I expect.
I can run with that.
Yeah.
I didn't look at their schedules. Like when you compare the two schedules between the Washington and the New York, it's like this piece right here is gonna make or break the Giants season. I feel like
Yeah.
this 4 games right here. Meanwhile, if you watch the Washington schedule, this is a very spread out schedule. Like, there's no juggernaut teams right in a row. Like, you might have 2 tough teams, and then it's an easy team. It's not like 4 straight teams in a row. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because Cardinals early, that's before Cowboys went. Cowboys not playing. Colt McCoy, you're gonna beat them for sure. Like, Broncos have a new head coach. They're not. I don't think they're coming out hot. Buffalo, that's a hard team. Eagles hard team, but it's not like, you go right after that into Chicago. I don't think Chicago depends
Chicago
on
ain't
Justin
getting nobody.
Fields. It's like it could be a juggernaut team, but it's not gonna be like impossible to beat.
Of course.
But then right after that, an easy team against the Falcons. Semi-easy. It's a divisional game against Giants. Divisional games, anything happens. Home game against Eagles. Generally wouldn't beat the Eagles at home. But then easier team against the Patriots, harder team against the Eagles. Not as division games here. Hard team against the Dolphins, but easier team against the Rams. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the NFC East or NFC Beast. No longer the NFC Least. Notice we have the 2 quarterbacks up here, and then no quarterbacks down here.
Because them the 2 quarterbacks they've already gotten their
Have the
money.
question marks.
They're safe for the next 5 to 6
These
years.
are the juggernauts. These aren't, not so much.
Although I will say, honestly, I think if Dak wants to win a Super Bowl, he needs to get out of Dallas. But those are the only 2 quarterbacks in this division that are like right now safe for the next 5 to 6 years. They don't got to worry about moving somewhere else.
Yep.
But again, what I said about Dak is true. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. This was pretty good.
46 minutes just talking about them. I think we'll split these up. Or bookmark them. Well, you know what I mean? We'll do chapters, so that when you guys watch it later on after we release these preseason videos, maybe we look like idiots. Maybe somebody makes a blockbuster move training camp. Philadelphia goes out and finds a guy for cheap before this video comes out, and we're like, well, guys, instead of finishing 13-4, the Eagles finish 15-1 or 15-2.
Yeah.
Could be. You never know. Stuff like that always happens. But that's gonna do it for us from Penalty Talk, JPeeps and Ace.
Yep.
Get anything else?
Thank you so much for watching, folks. We will see you on the next episode that we put out.